When it comes to knowing what we truly need to know, beholding creation, what God has created, is wonderful, but it's insufficient. It's unable to communicate to us what we really need to know to understand the will of God and how to be saved in Jesus Christ. Creation is unable to tell us what we really need to know. Psalm 19:1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky above proclaims his handiwork." Creation tells us something. It tells us there is a God, and he is great, he is glorious. It tells us something. It doesn't tell us what we really need to know. In Romans chapter 1, the Apostle Paul puts this point very finely. He says in verse 19, "For what can be known about God is plain to them," meaning to everyone, "because God has shown it to them, for his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made. So they are without excuse." What Paul says in Romans 1, summarize that. It says, the creation, what God has created, he's screaming through creation, "I exist, and you're accountable to me." That's the only knowledge you and I get through beholding the created order. And that is sufficient knowledge to make us guilty before God. We are without excuse. Every single person who has ever existed knows God exists, and they are accountable to him. You have a permit to say that because God says it in Romans 1 through the Apostle Paul. You have atheist friends. Atheism does not exist. People deny that God exists or that they don't believe that. God says through the Apostle Paul, they know I exist. And through their unrighteousness, they suppress that truth. Creation reveals that God exists and that we're accountable to him, so much to leave us without excuse, but creation does not reveal to us how we can be saved or what the will of God for us is. Creation is unable to tell us what we really, really need to know to have eternal life.